Eyes closed, again, changing the cross of your legs or changing, right, how you sit. Again, if the knees are still high, maybe add a second blanket or even a third sometimes helps. Again, so that you're not using your inner thighs and your hip flexors to hold your legs up, that they're able to settle onto something, even if it's your lower leg. Good, just a sense of the head coming back. Right, ideally, if we align the inner ear with the shoulder joint, that's supposedly neutral. And again, it depends on your body. But just that sense of coming back in space, right? That the eyes really pull us forward. And we tend to follow, right? It's part of our cultural keep moving forward. So taking a moment just to stand still in this moment, in this time and space. And just dropping your awareness into this time, this space, and the vastness of this moment. Noticing your breath. So let's just take a few breaths, very diffuse breaths. I'm going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, diffuse, soft. And exhale through the mouth. See if you can complete the exhale. Empty the body of that breath. And inhale through the nose, nice and slow. Again, diffuse, spacious, right? So allowing your body to soften around the breath to allow more breath in that soft, diffuse way, and exhaling through the mouth. And gently pressing the breath out. Good, last one. Again, letting the experience of your breath move beyond the perimeters of the lungs, right? That diffuse quality move beyond. And exhale through the mouth. And then as you close your mouth and I was going to say come back to a normal breath, but what is a normal breath? Come back to just that sense of diffuse quality through the nasal passages, back of the throat, upper palate, hinge of jaw, throat, front of neck, tops of shoulders. The ribs, all the muscles between the ribs, all the tissue inside, around lungs and heart, diaphragm, all the organs within the abdomen and pelvis, the abdominal muscles, pelvic floor muscles, back muscles, all relating to the breath, all responding, all interacting, softening, allowing. And bringing your palms together in front of your heart. Right? Just acknowledging a nourishment, a need, a tending, a care. Whatever still feels like it needs to be integrated in. And let's open with one Om. And stretching the legs forward. Okay, so I'm going to put a blanket down on my sticky mat, right? If you're on a harder surface. If you're on carpet, you may not need it. I have mine folded in half, so it's the length and width of my mat, but you could also spread just one blanket out. So you have, because we are going to move a little laterally off. Okay. And just laying down. On your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And let's take the arms out to the side. Palms up. And so we're going to do a couple of these super slow, and then we're going to add a little more speed to our super slow-mo. Let's take the feet almost as wide as your mat, depending on the length of your mat, but wider than your hips. Arms are wide. Again, first slow ones, we're not going to go to our full range of motion, but I'm just going to let the knees, both knees, start to lean to the right. And again, slow enough so I feel the weight of my pelvis settle as I move, right? Sometimes when we move, when we activate the muscles, they engage, they almost lift us off the floor to move us. It's very subtle, but can you keep everything very heavy? Right, move, micro move, pause, soften, get heavy. Micro move, pause, soften, get heavy. Across right side of sacrum towards the edge of the sacrum, slowly over that edge. It's a nice, interesting place. Glutes attach, piriformis attaches. And then slowly moving across that buttock flesh. My feet are heavy and I'm still watching. Can I release or relax that left leg, the inner thigh, even though it's navigating the movement, even though it's working in a very maybe small way? Can I still soften? And even though the knees are starting to lean out to the right, can I settle the weight of the thighs towards the pelvis? And then slowly, slowly, again, thighs heavy as I roll back towards the center. Left hip gets heavy, left shoulder, left arm has a presence. Slowly rolling back to center. Through center. And over to the other side. Left side of sacrum. Edge of sacrum. Slowly moving across that edge. Right from the hardness of the bone to the less hard tissue of the buttocks. And again, noticing the feet, soften the feet. Thighs heavy, right? Letting that right thigh stay heavy. Like the length of the femur falling into the hip joint, even as it's tipping to the left. Same with the left thigh, the weight of the femur moving back or in towards the hip joint. Maybe the weight of the lower legs towards the feet. The jaw soft, belly soft. Like that same sense of width or spaciousness in the upper palate, back of the throat, right, from inner ear to inner ear through the skull. And then slowly, and right hip gets heavy, right ribs, right arm, femurs, right, those thigh bones, those heavy thigh bones sinking towards the pelvis. And slowly, slowly roll back. Right, stuff is working. Just minimize how it's working. Notice what's overworking. Okay, so this time I'm gonna, again, when I'm back towards center and then through center, going to the right again. Ideally, the tissue's able to kind of compress. I guess that's the quality, right? That it feels like it's being compressed and it gets more pliable, more squishy. I know nobody wants to think of their butt squishy, but we're going there. Rolling again across that tissue slowly enough that maybe it's able to surrender a little more quickly. And then maybe I go just a little bit further. Okay, so I'm gonna let my knees just settle and my hips settle in this both knees to the right position. And I'm gonna let everything rest at the end range. And then I'm gonna take that left arm. We've done this before more quickly. We're just gonna slow it down. So left arm, straight arm is gonna start to, almost like a snow angel, I'm gonna go up along the floor, over the head. The arm can be on the floor, sliding, grazing the floor slightly above if the shoulder's a little compromised. But again, moving slowly and just slowly enough so that I can negotiate what my arm-shoulder relationship is, as well as getting the hips to soften, the breath, jaw. And then as that arm comes straight above the head, it's going to start to pull me to the right, right? So the ribs are going to turn to the right. See if you can relax the right shoulder, right back, and then left arm. Again, there's effort. But I'm going to slowly guide that left arm around and away from center. So the movement of the arm rolls me from the back of the shoulder to the outer shoulder. That left arm making its way towards the right arm. And just watching left knee, left thigh, feet, jaw. Good, left hand finds that right hand. Stack the palms for a moment. Simple movement here. I'm just going to slide that left palm past the right palm, turning the ribs towards the floor. Good. So my left knee came down onto my right foot. Again, if yours has it come all the way down, that's fine. Just trying to soften outer hip, inner thigh. And then I'm going to slide that left hand back. So the palms are stacked. Maybe even slide that left palm up, cross the wrist onto the forearm, towards the elbow. And then slide again down, forearm, across the wrist, across the palm, past the palm. Right? Maybe my the heel of my hand is on my right fingertips. Again, just noticing where your body is. It doesn't have to be the same. And then maybe from this position, I'm going to start to go back the way that I came, meaning the left arm is going to travel along the floor, overhead. Again, as that left arm moves. So maybe it's the initiator, but it's still slow. It's still curious. And the right shoulder is having to soften as I roll across it slowly. The hips, the legs, the belly, the breath, the jaw. Slowly. Again, just noticing and softening to the best of your ability. I'm going to keep both knees to the right, even though they want to come with. Just going to resist that for a moment as I roll again across onto the back of the right shoulder, back of rib cage. Left arm slowly making its way back. And my head is wanting to follow, head is turning left. Just notice what your head is doing. Notice what it wants to do. Notice resistance. And then slowly, slowly let the hips follow. Left hip, left shoulder, femurs heavy. And come back to center. Good, and I'm going to go the other way. So my head still wants to go left, and I'm just going to leave it there because that's what it wants to do. So my knees are going to slowly tip to the left. Again, the weight's still sinking into the floor, even though the legs are at that angle. And femurs heavy into the pelvis. And then I'm just going to let them settle there. And then right arm starts to travel. So right arm reaching almost away. You can think about reaching away from the center of the torso, center of the chest, or center of the shoulder joint. As it slowly starts to reach overhead, right? Maybe there's a little more effort through the whole body as well as you end up rolling up from the back of the shoulder to the outer left shoulder, back of the pelvis to the outer hip. Thighs are still heavy, lower legs heavy. Right arm is still reaching away from the center, just gently, just to help initiate movement. And then slowly, slowly, right arm comes to meet the left arm. Palms on top of each other for a moment. And then sliding that right hand past the left hand. I'm just sliding the heel of the hand to the fingertips. Just feeling what that does in the rest of the body. And then sliding the hand back up, meaning palms come together, heel of hand to heel of hand, and then palm slides up, cross that left wrist, up the forearm, to the elbow. Moving slow, feeling what's happening in the hip and the shoulder and the neck. Sliding back down. Again, notice what happens with the feet and the legs. There is effort. Just keep minimizing it, softening it. One more time, right palm comes onto the left palm and then slides. Keep sliding to the left, bringing the heel of the hand to the fingertips or towards. And then from that position, start to travel with that right arm. Overhead again. And noticing, softening, heavy, softening, heavy. Especially as that arm starts to come over and slightly behind. Slowing it down and letting the body do like that super slow motion roll. In a fluid, soft way. Good. And then once your right arm is found where it started, let the hips follow. Right hip heavy, right femur heavy, left femur and hip heavy. Slowly, slowly. Just feeling, softening, outer hips, lower back, feet, jaw. And come back to center. Good, and just notice what you notice. Okay, so now I'm going to roll onto my side. I'm going to roll onto my right side with my knees bent. So my thighs are perpendicular to my spine, and my head, shoulder, spine, hip pretty much in one line. Just going to bend my right arm and tuck my hand under my head. Okay, and then maybe just going to let my right arm reach forward, and again let my palms come together, right? So my left hand is on top of my right hand, my right ear is sinking towards the floor. So similar to what we just did, just the sliding part. So I'm going to slide that left hand, again, slow, down, away from the elbow. So left hand slides the heel of the hand towards the fingertips. Letting the head roll, letting that right shoulder settle into the floor. And then gently, slowly slide up the hand, heel of the hand to meet the other heel of the hand. And then again, slide up the forearm towards the elbow. Keeping that shoulder soft, both shoulders soft. And then I'm going to slide the left hand further up. So that left arm will start to bend so it can get up almost to the top of the shoulder. Maybe even across the front shoulder. So I'm turning a little to the left, right? Coming onto the back of that right shoulder. And then reverse that. Again, I'm just going to slide my left hand down. Good. And you don't have to put a lot of pressure, but you can, right? Just let the weight sink into that tissue as you slide across the elbow to the wrist, palms together, and again slide left hand down to the fingertips. So again, from here, that left hand is in front of the right hand. I'm gonna do a circle. So left arm, either from the center of the torso or the center of the shoulder joint, however you see it, is gonna start to travel. Again, around. Arm is straight. Maybe the fingers trace along the floor, maybe it hovers. And the interesting transitions, right? When you get onto the outer shoulder, when you find some density, maybe go a little slower. Maybe lengthen your breath. Maybe inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And I'm going to take that left arm all the way over. And eventually out, straight out to the side from that left shoulder. Good. And then let's just keep going. So I'm going to take the arm down, right? Instead of coming back overhead, I'm going to take the arm behind me and down. Right, big arc. So the arm starts to come in just right behind the body. And feeling that reach of the arm down towards the feet. And then the arm's going to start to come up onto the body, still reaching towards the feet. Just feeling what that does to the upper shoulder, neck. Try as if I could reach and touch the feet, but I'm not going to. Right? Just that sense of initiation, gentle but clear. Right, sending the neck into a little bit of a side bend. Just breathing, softening, head rolling. Again, reaching towards the feet, over the outer thigh and lower leg. And even from here, I'm turning again to the right. From the back of the shoulder to the side shoulder on that right side. The left arm tracing around the knee. And towards the hand. And I'm already past that right hand. And then I'm just going to slide the palms together. Good. And then let's come onto the other side. So let's just roll it. So I'm just going to take that left hand and slide it up the right arm. Again, you can just use the weight of the left arm, sliding along that arm, just a nice sense of touch. It's stimulating the smaller nerves in the skin. So as the hand comes up to the upper arm, across the front shoulder, I'm going to let the hand slide across the chest. And letting that left arm slowly find its way to the floor. And then let's slowly, left foot slides to the left side. Away from the right foot. And roll onto the back of your pelvis. And then just roll to the other side. Or shift around if you need to. Good, the hip, the shoulder, the head, pretty much in one line. Let's take that left arm forward. Stack your palms. Just breathing into that side bend in your neck. Okay, right arm slides past the left arm. Right, that right heel of the hand finding the left fingertips. And then just keep reaching away from the center point as that right arm starts to lead. And again, if there's any juicy bits, pause, go slow. Right arm traces along the floor, around. Again, depends on the shoulder, may hover, but pause. And you can even just slide in and out if one part feels good. Maybe, so I have my arm just slightly in front of my face overhead. And I'm just going to slide a little further away from center and back to center, just because it feels really interesting. There's a little bit of a nerve feeling there. Something not quite sliding right. And then I'll keep going, and maybe again, if I find another spot, just playing, varying the movement, kind of rocking in and out, super slow. Just to shift how the tissue is engaging. That right arm is overhead now. And notice where you are. Right arm slowly comes behind, and again it was going to turn the ribs towards the ceiling, towards that right arm. And bringing that right arm just straight out from the shoulder. And then keep going. Traveling still out from the center point. And noticing what it does in the shoulder, the neck, the head. As the arm reaches down or out and down, and gets closer and closer to the body. And then up onto the body, still reaching as if to the feet. Towards the ankle. As if moving past the shin, around the shin. Keep sliding along that outer thigh. The weight of the arms slide on that outer thigh. Reaching past the knee, back onto the floor. And I'm already past my left hand. And then I'm just going to slowly slide palms together. Slide that right arm up the left arm. This feels really nice to have touch. It's an interesting place of touching and being touched. Up the inner arm to the shoulder. And making that contact, even if there's clothing, across the chest. And feeling that right shoulder come closer to the floor as that right arm extends. And then let's let the hips follow. So right leg just slides to the right to let that right hip come towards the floor. Right thigh heavy, right hip heavy, left hip heavy. And roll back onto your back. Nice. Good. Let's just take the feet wide and knees together. Just breathing, listening, feeling. Good. And let's come back to that breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Even feeling the jaw open slightly, releasing the hinge of the jaw, feeling just the vastness of the inner mouth, upper palate, back of throat. 2 more of those. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And inhale, slow, soft, diffuse. Even in your inhale, can you find that width in between inner ear to inner ear? Back of throat is still wide. The cavernous quality of the upper palate, almost like a cathedral. And exhaling through the mouth. Letting the body sink and soften, settle back even more. Okay. So just gently, gently roll onto your belly. And stacking your hands. And turn your head to the side, just letting one cheek rest on the back of your hand. Just feeling how the belly and the front body move as you breathe. Right. Ideally, our whole front body responds with the inhale, right, all the way down to the pubic bone. Right, can you feel it, right? That sense of breathing into the base of the pelvis, into the sitting bones, into the pelvic floor. Maybe you just feel a little more engagement, front body into the floor, all the way down. And let's lift the head, turn it the other direction, other cheek on the back of the hand. And noticing your breath, your jaw. Your neck, the rotation, the shoulders. Okay. So, and I'm gonna just take my, I'm gonna take my right arm out to the side, straight out from the shoulder, palm down. And I'm gonna turn my head to the left and bring my left palm on the floor, so the elbows up towards the ceiling. And maybe even the right hand comes slightly above the right shoulder. Okay. And then I'm going to bend my left knee. So left arm is bent, left palm down, left knee is bent, left foot up in the air. And again, just little tiny movements. I'm just going to press into my left hand and turn the ribs to the left as my right hand almost reaches away from my breastbone. Right, and the breastbone's turning away from the hand. And then soften that. It's not a big movement. And then again, pressing into that left hand, turning the breastbone to the left. And then maybe that left foot fall towards the right leg. And maybe turn the pelvis even more. Good. And then slowly let the hips come back so the left foot will lift, the left chest will lower. Good. One more time, nice and slow. Pressing the left hand down, turning the breastbone to the left. Left foot falls towards the right leg. Good. Maybe even just lift that right hand ever so slightly. Noticing the neck, the jaw. And then slowly roll back. Left hip down, left chest down. Last time, we're going to add one element. Left hand presses into the floor, turning the shoulder or the breastbone to the left. Left shoulder starts to lift and come back. Left foot drops towards the right leg. And then just maybe press into that hand just enough to think about sliding that left leg over the right leg. Just over, as if it could reach back towards the wall or floor behind you. And maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. And then just gently roll back. Right leg down, right hip down, left chest down. All right, one more. And again, keep it as small and easy as possible, right? Only go further if your body feels fluid. Left hand pressing down. Ribs turning to the left. Left foot falling to the right. Good. Maybe slide or lift and slide that left leg on top of the right leg, or even over the right leg towards the floor. One breath or two. Right, inhale, let the limbs almost lift away from each other in all directions, and then slowly roll back down. This time, left leg bent or straightened. Hands come underneath your right cheek. And then turn your head, left cheek to your hands. Okay, let's do this other side. So left arm goes straight out to the side from your shoulder and then slightly above. Right hand to the floor, close to the, or in line with the chest. Right under the elbow, right knee bends. Okay, simple movement. Simple to start. Just putting a little press into that right hand. Doesn't take a lot. Turning the breastbone to the right. So my right hip is slightly lifted. Right hip is slightly lifted. Right leg can fall towards the left leg. And then just slowly roll back. Right hip comes back down. Right breast comes towards the floor. Again, press into the right hand. Turning the breastbone to the right. Right foot falls to the left. I'm just peeling the right side of the body up, turning to the right. And maybe lift that left hand just a little bit as you reach it away from the breastbone. And down. And slowly roll back. Slow, slow, slow. And again, slow, slow, slow. Feeling the initiation through hand, arm, movement of the shoulder, the rib cage, the hip. Feel what's happening on that left front body, shoulder. A little bit of a nerve stretch, lifting the left fingers maybe, or playing piano, or just sliding the fingers away from the breastbone. Again, gentle. These are all lots of big sensations, right? Especially when we start to stretch the nerves. And then one more time, if you want to explore going more, only if. Turning to the right. So maybe that right leg starts to lift onto the left leg, reaching past the left leg towards the floor or towards the wall behind you. Breathing. And then slowly, slowly roll back. Pause. Breathe. Last one. Again, make it easy or fluid on your body, right? Even if you hit sticky parts, soften it. Be curious, right? Even here, I feel a little funkiness in my shoulder blade. So maybe I just play with sliding the shoulder blade towards the spine and away. Slow it down. Feel what's happening. Feel what's tangled. Or maybe go a little further. Lift that right leg onto the left leg. Maybe reach it back. Maybe towards the floor behind. And then slowly, 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 slowly roll out. Stack your hands, left cheek on your hands. Good, and then turn right cheek on your hands. Good. Now forehead on the backs of your hands. And let your chin tip towards your chest. And I'm just going to think about lifting the head without lifting the chin. If anything, I'm going to think about tucking the chin down towards the sternum as I lift the head. Not lifting far, and then slowly bring the forehead back to the hands. One more time, tucking the chin slightly, lifting the head. Feeling the back of the neck quite long as your chin is dropped and slightly tucked. And slowly lower the forehead back to the hand. Last time. Feel the weight come into the hands and the forearm. Not a lot as the head lifts. With that little flutter of movement in your upper back, back of neck. And slowly, slowly lower your head down. Good. Cheek to the side. Let's take the arms, right? Just rolling onto your back, the easiest way, right? So maybe bend the right arm, stretch the left arm overhead, and roll. Just turn onto your back. Okay, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Again, just noticing feet wide, knees together. And then walk feet together, knees wide. Let's do one more of those. Pick the knees up, take the feet wide, knees together. And then walk the feet together and let the knees go wide. And then since we're on the blanket, let's just slide the feet down, keeping the legs heavy, right? So they stay in that external rotation. And then as the feet keep sliding down, they'll straighten and come a little more neutral. Okay, so you can take your second blanket and roll it up and put it under your thighs if you'd like, or put it on your torso. Good, either arms away from the body, palms down or palms up, or hands on your ribs, whatever feels good in your shoulder. And always good to change it. And just doing 2 of those breaths, inhaling through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, feeling that spaciousness created in the head, throat, chest, belly. And exhale through the mouth, letting everything feel even more spacious and soft. Feeling your body settle even more into the ground, into the floor. And just feeling the vastness and softness within you. and around you. And again, maybe there's an element that feels particularly nourishing at this moment. Maybe the warmth or brilliance of the sun, or the quality of the dark sky, the shimmer of stars. Maybe it's the ocean. Just finding something that you can almost entrain with or allow that quality to fill you. Or expand you. Or hold you. Moving deep into you and around you. And in that vastness, that spaciousness, that sense of being held and cared for, supported, just feeling that quality expand out into your family, your home, your community. Maybe even out to our planet. Just a little movement in your fingers and your toes. And gently roll onto your side and up to sit. Palms together in front of your heart. And just seeing how the quality within you can carry you through your day. Just keep tapping in. Om.